All right, everyone. Well, welcome to the Bricken AMA here at Pinksale. For those that might not know me, my name is Shono. Today we're joined by TP, Builder, Mark, and Bricken Admin. I guess you guys can go through and do an explanation and an introduction. But yeah, before we get started, did you guys want to share your screen or a presentation or anything like that, or you're just happy to stay on audio?
I'm currently out in the field, out on site this morning, Sean. No, I'm not available to produce anything at the minute.
Yeah, no dramas. All right. Anybody else, or we can get started on some intros if you guys like.
Yeah, great.
Sweet, gents. Yeah, well, feel free to introduce yourselves to the community, and I guess you guys all seem like you know each other in real life and you're mates. So yeah, it'd be good to get to know you guys a little bit more and understand how your team dynamic eventuated, and yeah, then we can start to learn about the project once we hear a little bit about it.
Yeah, shall I go first, guys? Is that okay?
Yeah, please do.
Hi. For those who don't know me, my name is Mark, and I'm the founder of Bricken alongside Tom, and my background is construction. I've been in construction for near on since the day I finished college, went on into construction and ended up running my own small firm, ended up running the firm that I eventually worked for. Started running my own firm, worked with, trying to mention some big projects that you may know, maybe not from down under, but lads certainly this side of the pond. As I say, did a lot with Liverpool One, built literally everything inside Liverpool city centre. I worked on Bury city centre with Lang O'Rourke. As I say, I've worked with a huge French company called Vinci. I did a lot with managing projects with them, Norwest Holst. And then for the last 10 years, mainly has been house building, renovation, construction, demolition, conversions, old people's homes, whatever. So in the last, I'd say 10 years as well, took on a number of lads in the team, brought a number of apprentices through, and they're still with me to this day. So that's a little bit of intro to my background. Everything else really. Now the Bricken team is solely on house building right now currently.
Legend. All right. Thanks, Mark. Maybe TP, do you want to introduce next, and then we'll get Builder and Bricken Admin?
Yeah, sure. My name is Thomas Parsons. I'm co-founder and head of DAO at Bricken. I've basically been involved in the blockchain industry since about 2015, as it started off as an investor, and fell in love with the industry and sort of started delving a bit deeper into the functionalities of how blockchain technology can be implemented within day-to-day businesses and how it helps them. I started off sort of freelancing on projects, helping out with like community development, marketing, fundraising. I come from a project management background, so I was helping out with project management of new projects. I went full-time into blockchain about 2017, where I was again working on individual projects with any sort of services they may need. And then in 2020, I started up my own blockchain consultancy, where we became a one-stop shop for projects to go through from idea phase to launch to become more of an established project. We'd help with anything from community development, marketing, listings, launchpads, node solutions, development solutions, anything a project may need to become more established within the industry. We could provide that for them. That was how I sort of met Liam and the rest of the Bricken team, who then introduced me to Mark. We sort of had this similar vision of Mark sort of said, this is what we want to do. We want to take like a real estate investment trust and break it down, implement blockchain technology into that to solve some of the problems which you are traditionally faced with within a real estate investment trust. Where I then gave them the idea of the DAO ecosystem, which we've implemented at Bricken, and also suggested other ways that blockchain technology can be infiltrated into the typical system to distribute funds out to investors, and from that, Bricken was born in a way.
Yeah, beauty. All right, Builder, did you want to do a quick intro and then Bricken Admin, and then we can get started on learning about the project?
Sure. So my name is Michael. Pleased to meet everybody today. I'm
Hey, Michael.
actually a childhood friend of Mark. We've been friends since school, family friends. We know each other incredibly well, as you can imagine. My background is essentially recruitment. I've worked in the recruitment industry for many years, but I decided a couple of years ago that I wanted to get into property and I wanted to learn how to build houses. So I started working on the construction side of things with Mark. I've been working with Mark for a significant amount of time now. As you can probably imagine, I think you said before, we're all friends. We all know each other really well. So I've known Liam for many years as well. Tom I've known for a couple of years, and obviously Mark, Mark being a childhood friend, we felt it all right that we all had the trust together, and you know we all believed in each other for us to be able to move a project like this forward. How the idea actually came about was really quite strange, really. I'd had this idea of generating revenue from property and putting it on blockchain, and Liam had also had the exact same idea of doing a very similar process. And then when me and Liam were away on holiday, we were having a glass of wine, and we spoke about the fact that we both had this same idea, and it was almost like a brainwave moment, and we went to work on it straight away from then. So I think the great thing about the team that we've got here is everybody knows each other, like I said, very well. There's trusted relationships there, trusted friendships, backgrounds, but also as well, we know each other's strengths. We know where we can all fit into this project. So for Mark, obviously from a construction perspective, he's got very strong track record of building, renovating, and managing property portfolios in the past. Tom is obviously got his own blockchain consultancy that has taken crypto projects from idea phase right the way up to successful launch. Liam is involved with other projects as well and has got a successful track record there. Obviously very intelligent guy, good visionary. I just think all of us, between us, we make a great team, and that's what's so exciting about this project, is that we all sort of fit in the right spaces, really. And you know, I couldn't ask to work with three better guys. So yeah, over to you, Liam.
Cheers, buddy. I like the way I come on at 11:11 as well. So anyone who's really good about that, follow the secret and stuff. Yeah, powerful. I won't drag on too long because obviously it's quite long, long bit of intro. But essentially, I've worked in finance, raising capital for companies probably for the best part of 15, 16 years now. Essentially trained as a wealth planner previously before moving into structuring financial models for various different companies in various different industries. Moved into blockchain probably 2014, 2015. Obviously done very, very well. We then went into structuring different ICOs and helping companies achieve their visions. I'm still involved in a couple of big ICO projects as well, which we're hoping are going to list later on in the year. And yeah, that's pretty much me really in regards to financing and helping companies raise. I've got a small portfolio myself. I've been personally mentored by Paul Preston, as well as Progressive Property and Rob Moore. So probably two of the largest property educators within the UK. And like Michael was saying, we've all known each other for quite some time. So it's a really, really good foundations for the core members, really.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, yeah, from the sounds of it, it sounds like you guys are a very experienced bunch of guys that have, had a range of experiences in the building industry and all that sort of stuff, which, I guess sort of leads into this project and why the communities and everybody else is pretty excited about learning about it. Because, in the current market, as you guys would be aware, good projects are a dime a dozen, and seeing something like your project, everybody's there's a little bit of buzz in the atmosphere, if you can say it like that. But yeah, I'll let you guys take it away and tell us a little bit about Bricken and the project, if you want to start with the intro, and then we can get into the specifics on how Bricken works and how the investors can get involved.
Sure. So Bricken, in a way, is sort of, if you look at a traditional real estate investment trust, we've sort of dissected that and highlighted the issues which they're traditionally faced with, which is accessibility, because you need a large amount of capital to be able to buy into real estate investment trust to be able to see any sort of returns. Transparency as well. When you invest into these, you don't really know where your money's going or where it's been invested in. But obviously, with blockchain technology, you can see every transaction within the blockchain, within the scanner. So that's all accessible with blockchain technology, and also governance as well. Once you invest into these real estate investment trusts, like I say, you don't really know where your money's going. You don't know what it's been invested in. You just sort of have to have trust that it's going to be used wisely. With a DAO ecosystem, obviously we're putting the power back into the investors' hands. We're allowing them to take control back over their investment and decide the direction that the portfolio moves and also the direction that the company moves in. We're currently in fundraising stage, as mentioned. We're currently in our private sale. We're raising a total of 5.95 million, 750k soft cap. We've currently raised just over 300,000. So there is a bit of a buzz around the project. We've managed to raise that just on our ICO platform, and we have some big plans for the raise itself. So we're very excited about the way that it's moving and the sort of hype that it's generating. You touched a little bit on the current market state, but one of the strong factors that we are implementing, obviously, we're focusing on two main utilities, which is governance and yield farming. You see a lot of DeFi projects that focus on yield farming that are based a lot around the price of the token or the liquidity in the current market. Because we're allowing you to yield farm from a property portfolio, which is real life assets, which is brick and mortar, if you like. We won't be the price of the token and the current market state won't actually affect the yield that you're generating. The yield that you're generating will only go up. It will only improve once the size of the portfolio is building and the size of the portfolio grows. The amount of yield distributed out to the DAO is only going to grow. If the price of the token goes down, if we enter a bear market and the token price goes down slightly, it will not affect the amount of yield that you're generating from your original investment. We aim to launch with a 5 million property portfolio where you'll be at the current price, you'll be able to generate 6% APY on your original investment. Once we manage to scale that to 50 million pounds property portfolio, it will then obviously scale. The yield you're receiving will scale with the size of the property portfolio. So at 50 million, you'll be receiving a 60% APY. That's estimated. It could be more, it could be slightly less. But if we utilize the right strategy, which we're going to put forward to the DAO to vote on, so utilizing the token and the governance, you'll be able to vote on the proposals and vote on the way that the property portfolio moves and the strategy implemented. We'll be able to maximize profits for our investors. Do any of you guys want to add anything on to that?
No, you pretty much said a lot of it. I think with the APY side of things, it's also going to be dependent on how many tokens are actually staked in the vault. But when we list, I mean the majority of individuals, I'm imagining anyone that's going to be buying is definitely going to be staking, because once again, we're the world's first property DAO that is rewarding its members, monthly in USDT. With the vesting schedules in place as well, it kind of stabilizes the price of the token, so it minimizes selling pressure. I think we're just, hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, we're just starting what I feel could be the kind of next bull run. So it has been challenging to start with, because it's essentially we did kind of open our doors at a bear market where there wasn't a lot of buying confidence, but we have raised a small substantial amount of funds, which has allowed us to do a bit of marketing. We've got smart contract audits being done at the moment, so things are looking really positive and looking up. And now we're really starting to push on with the marketing, with the AMAs and the influencers. We've got some PR stuff coming out as well. I think now the market itself is gaining more confidence. I can see us really raising these funds and really pushing on and pushing forward. And I'm looking forward to obviously starting to purchase the properties that we already have in the pipeline.
Yeah, I can see the market. It's still very, very slow. It's probably the slowest market I've seen in my years in crypto, and it's but I can see the positivity starting to come back, and I think your project would definitely benefit from that sort of positivity and the good price action that Bitcoin and stuff has had. But just going back to the actual project itself, so when you say you're purchasing property and it sort of benefits the investors, can you just explain that a little bit more? So, for instance, how does that, like, you guys won't purchase property and just share the profits from your property with the token. There'd be some sort of revenue generation both sides, I guess. Can you just explain that a little bit more so we can understand how the model works financially?
Yeah, so essentially we'll be using the funds to purchase a variety of different properties. It could be for single lets, which we're looking at targeting a minimum 10% yield. It could be HMOs, which are anywhere between 20 and 30%. There will also be some local authority lets. Things like buying and flipping, where we're going to be targeting 20 to 30% as a profit margin. We've also got rent to rent and rent to service accommodation, which typically is about 80 to 100%. So essentially, we're buying the properties. Any revenue that we make, either income or growth from the flipping, from the entire property portfolio. So you're not tokenizing single property. We're giving individuals rewards for the entire property portfolio. So any profits that are made, 60% of those profits are then distributed to the community members and the token holders who are staking in the Bricken Vault. 40% obviously goes back into the company for running costs and to further increase our portfolio. There's something for you guys who understand about property. There's something called buy, refurbish, refinance, which works really, really well on buy to lets perfectly, because you can buy a property. We're looking at 20 to 30% below market value from distressed sellers. We have maybe 10 or 15 sources, probably more, up and down the UK finding us and giving us these kind of opportunities daily. So essentially what would happen is you'd buy the property, refurbish it, add value to it. 6 months later, you can then refinance it, which allows you then to pull out the original capital you invested and go and buy another property. So what that means to you guys is every 6 to 8 months, our property portfolio is increasing, meaning that our profits are increasing, meaning that you guys that are staking, your rewards will increase every 6 to 8 months.
Nice. Okay. And a solid 10% is almost guaranteed based on the model that you're talking about, right?
Well, we're only looking at single lets, minimum 10%. We wouldn't look at anything less than that. You can do that in Liverpool quite easily anyway. But where we're buying below market value, so distressed sellers, people that are going through a divorce or a probate, or maybe they're facing repossession or debt. These guys are having issues. Where we're cash buyers, it allows us to obviously help them to purchase the property quite quickly. And if they are going for a repossession, it's a bit of a double bubble for us, because not only can we help them by purchasing their property so they don't lose the property, but then we've got a full-time tenant already ready to go, and we know they're going to be obviously looking after the property because it used to be their home.
Yep, makes sense. All right, nice.
And also as well, can I just add to that slightly? I think Liam made a very valid point there about distressed sellers, the rental market, and in terms of us capitalising on that, because we're entering a time of property downfall in terms of prices in the UK. Obviously, we all understand the global financial situation at the moment, and the impact that that's going to have on the UK property market is going to see a reduction of around about 10 to 15% over the next 10 to 12 months. So that puts us in a great position as cash buyers to be able to capitalise on that for long-term asset growth, because if you look at the UK property market, it's only ever gone one way. It does go down, but it will go back up again. So, which we're buying on a dip. what is also really great for our project is because the property sales market is falling. That's also pushing the rental market up. So it's having a sort of seesaw effect for us in the right way, whereby we're buying properties at a cheaper price and we're able to rent them at a higher cost because the rental market's oversubscribed. So it really does put us in a great position for kicking this project off from a timing perspective.
Also, when it comes to the refurbishment side of things, having Mark and Mick on the project with the network they built up over the years and the materials, the expenditure of the refurbishment is going to be minimal, so we can maximise profits. All we really have to pay for is labour, because Mark's got workers at his fingertips, got materials in a lockup all ready to go. So instead of having to outsource this sort of work, we're going to be doing it in-house. Same with property management as well. We're going to have a property management company which NFT holders can get a yield of the profits from it, but we'll touch on that more later. So we'll basically be cutting the expenditure and maximising profits for the investors and the company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like from what I've read, I do a little bit of reading on property and stuff. But yeah, it seems like there's almost a rental shortage throughout the globe, really, because if you guys are seeing the same thing as my country, then, it's seems like it's pretty equal across the globe, like I said, which is interesting. I thought it would have varied a little bit more, but seems like, rental tenants, rental properties are in high demand.
Yeah, definitely. You see the same in America as well. I feel like there's a global economic shift coming.
Housing shortage or something, yeah.
Yeah, but they say in chaos comes opportunity, and it's our opportunity to capitalise on that.
Exactly right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all right. Well, in terms of, we've kind of got the business model down, and you guys did explain how you will fund back into the project with profits from Bricken, or from your investment. Is there any other way that you guys will look at sort of funding the project in the meantime? So I know that we have to wait, 6 to 8 months and things like that for properties to start to accumulate, and then your returns. Is there any other way that you guys would be looking at in the short term in funding the project? Maybe with flipping homes quickly, or I'm not sure how it will work, but you guys are the professionals, so I'll let you explain.
I think the most important thing at the moment is we start purchasing for rentals. So, the legal structure is being finalised by a very large legal team within the UK in regards to the trust set up for Bricken. The development side is already there, ready to go. We're looking to list, Q2, Q3, this year. I think by that time, we already have a few properties ready to go. So as soon as we list and the DAO's open, people will start, getting their rewards. I don't think there's any ICO out there at the moment where as soon as you list, we've been accepted by Gate.io as well. I'm sure Tom will touch on a few others. But there's no ICO, out there where as soon as you list, you'll be rewarded on 100% of your tokens from day one. And you've only really got, a short space of time to wait, 4 or 5 months until we list. For us, it's about, acquiring as many properties as we can to ensure that the largest rewards are possible.
Yeah, we've already got some packaged properties which our property sources have sent to us. We've already got the strategy there to acquire these properties. We'll be looking to make the first purchase within the next couple of months, so that we can start to build up this portfolio and have funds already in the vault, which is the hub for the rewards in our DAO platform, to be able to distribute out after the first month of the project launching. Obviously, we're launching in May. Plan to distribute the first load of profits in June time after the first month, and we want to maximise that as much as possible. So, and also we want to give proof of concept as well. So we want to show you the sort of strategies that we implement in our properties to start generating that revenue.
Cool. All right, and now in terms of the actual sale or fundraise side of things, I can see that you guys are starting with a private sale on Pinksale. Is that correct?
So we do. Sure. So we do. yeah, we have the private sale available currently on Pinksale, but we do also have an ICO platform on our website where we accept like USDT and Bitcoin, Ethereum on different networks such as Tron and BSC. Obviously, on the Pinksale website, that's where you can go if you want to invest in BNB. Our minimum investment on our ICO platform is $150. On Pinksale, it's 0.1 BNB. So if you wanted to enter for lower than the minimum amount on the ICO platform, you can do it through Pinksale. But we have had our ICO open for seed round and also private sale on our website. That's how we've raised the 300,000 so far. So yeah, if you invest in over $1,000 into our ICO, the first 250 people get a Goldmine NFT. Basically, Goldmine NFT gives you full governance over the portfolio. With the Goldmine NFT, you can create proposals for every single property throughout the lifespan of the project. We're also going to be doing individual NFT drops for each individual property. So say, for example, you fall in love with a development that we are purchasing, or you really like one of the properties and want to be involved in it and want to have a say in what happens with that property, you can purchase either a Goldmine NFT, which will be retailing at $2,000, or you'll be able to have one of the single releases for each property to be able to create proposals for that individual property. With these Goldmine NFTs, if you stake them, you'll also be receiving 50% of the profits from the property management company. So we're forming a property management company, which will be managing all of our rental properties, and we'll also be reaching out to private landlords as well and building up a portfolio of property managed properties. Sorry. And then if you have an individual NFT for an individual property, you'll be able to get 50% of the profits for that individual property. But the Goldmine NFT gives you 50% of the entire property management portfolio.
Cool. All right. And now you mentioned 300,000 raised on your website. I can see private sale on Pinksale at the moment is 400 BNB you're looking to raise, and you've got 17-day countdown on that. I guess, I just wanted to ask, how much more funding do you guys need? So like, what's your goal funding amount that you're chasing?
So our soft cap is 750k, but for us to reach and our hard cap's 5.95 million. We have a 5-year target of reaching a $50 million portfolio, and we reckon we can comfortably reach that with a $2.5 million startup fund. So that is our ideal target, 2.5 million. Obviously, our soft cap's 750k, so we need to hit that to start operations, and our hard cap's 5.95 million.
Nice. All right. So you guys are going to be pretty cashed up to be able to buy property then. And when you buy the property, just to clarify as well, will you be buying the property under the entity of Bricken, or will you be buying the property under your personal names?
So Bricken will hold the assets. So we currently have, Liam touched on it a little bit earlier, we're having Forsters, who are one of the largest legal firms in the UK. We've got their DAO structuring team on board, James Brockhurst and Rory Carter. They are currently structuring our DAO and helping us advise us through the process. So the DAO itself, which will be Bricken, will hold the assets, hold the properties. It will either be a Cayman trust or a Jersey Purpose trust. And then obviously the token as well will be an asset of the DAO. So all of the value will be within Bricken. And then we've got Brick by Brick Limited, which will be the development company, which Mark will be head of and running. That will be doing all the refurbishment and all the work done on all the properties. And then Brick by Brick will also have a property management company as well.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, so then you'll be, Brick by Brick, will have the ownership of the properties.
No, Bricken the DAO will have ownership of the properties. Brick by Brick will be the development company that performs all the renovations on the properties, and then there'll also be Brick by Brick property management, which will be managing the rentals and also other private landlords' rentals.
Okay, so does that mean that Bricken is a registered company within the UK as well?
No, so Bricken's being structured at the moment as a DAO, either a Jersey Purpose Trust or a Cayman Trust by Forsters. James Brockhurst and Rory Carters are specialised in DAO structuring. James Brockhurst has actually written a book on it. If you come over to our Telegram group, we can provide more information on this. We've got links to their profiles on the Forsters websites. We've got letters of engagement. If you're interested in becoming an investor and message us privately, we can share some information on that.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, how does that work when purchasing property within the UK? Like, is there any, is there any laws for, who purchases property and the way that you guys have to purchase property? As in, I guess I'm learning this as well, and that's probably some questions that the investors might have here. So it'd be good to touch on what sort of legal aspects you guys need to cover in order to purchase property.
Nothing really in the UK. I mean, the majority of high net worths do it via trusts anyway. So those trusts are normally set in Jersey or somewhere like the Caymans for tax reasons. The thing with Jersey is you are sometimes subject to a 15 or a 20% non-resident tax. But again, there's ways that you can obviously minimise that and offset that with other revenue streams and external payments going out, which is why we're either going to be looking at Jersey or be looking at Caymans. But you can purchase with a company or a trust in the UK.
Oh, perfect, nice. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can do that in my country, but yeah, I think that's cool to understand that. Thanks for sharing. All right, so I think we've gone through the actual project itself, what it's about, how it works, and the fundraising. Maybe let's get into the token side of things and learn a little bit about the tokenomics. So if you guys want to talk to us about, sort of total supplies and what's locked, how much you're going to have locked away and how long it's going to be locked for, and then going into the taxes of the tokens when people buy and sell and how that gets distributed. If you guys want to chat us through that detail, that'd be good.
Sure. I'll happily touch on that. Let me just pull up the tokenomics for you, and I'll talk you through it. So there's a total supply of 600 million. We'll be selling 25% of that at ICO round. We'll be doing 5% at seed, which is 30 million tokens. These tokens will be locked for 3 months and then on a linear vesting schedule for 24 months. During all vesting schedules, they are automatically staked within the vault. So you'll be able to earn 100% rewards on all of your vested tokens throughout the whole time that they're vested. They will be on a linear vesting schedule, so they'll be unlocked on a continuous basis in small amounts, so you can continuously unlock them. This is one reason why we've chosen Polygon to build on as well, because we want to keep fees to a minimum. We don't want you to be charged large fees for unlocking your tokens or staking your tokens or whatever you do them. In private sale, we've got 6% of supply at 36 million at sale. This will be locked for 1 month with a 24-month vesting schedule, the same, and that's the same with the pre-public 1 and 2. And then we've got a 2% supply being sold at public. We're looking to get an IEO in place. We've been in talks with Gate.io and they've accepted us for listing. The IEO is still being reviewed though. The plan is to basically have the IEO on an exchange to then list on their exchange, and 50% of the public sale tokens will be automatically available and unlocked to be able to be sold to market. The other 50% will be vested for 6 months. We're also in talks with Huobi and OKX for potential IEOs and listings. Our goal is for the IEO, so whoever is able to offer us the IEO will be the one that we'll build list with. But Gate.io have already accepted us for listing. We're just waiting to hear back from Huobi and OKX. We have a ecosystem distribution available as well. This is basically 30% of the supply is to be sold back to market to generate more capital, to purchase more properties, to increase the profits that are distributed out to the DAO. This will become available. This is locked up for 6 months and then is vested for a further 36 months so for 3 years. So at the end of the 3 years, 42 months, including the lock, we will start to draw down on that ecosystem and sell it to market. And obviously, by this point, we envision that the token price will be a lot higher than it currently is during the ICO. So we'll be selling to market at a much higher price than we currently are, meaning we generate a lot more revenue to then be putting into the properties to be able to generate further profits to distribute out to the investors. We have a 15% token distribution for the team. This is going to be locked up for a year, and then on a 3-year linear vesting schedule. So for 4 years, it's going to be completely vested, meaning that the team won't be able to touch it for at least a year, and then also it's going to be vested for a further 3 years. We have a 5% token allocation for marketing, which is vested for 2 years. We have 10% liquidity, which we're going to be distributing between the 2 decentralized exchanges that we're listing on. This is going to be SushiSwap and Flatcube. Flatcube is basically the decentralized exchange for the blockchain network called Everscale. Everscale is an up-and-coming blockchain who we've partnered up with to utilize their ecosystem. We're utilizing their bridge to bridge over to their network. We're also utilizing their launchpad. Basically, we've got 2 centralized launchpads that we're going to be listing with during our private sale. This is Priz and Everstart. Everstart is the launchpad for Everscale. And then also the decentralized exchange Flatcube. Then we've got a 10% reserve, which is has the same vesting schedule as the ecosystem. Obviously, as you know, this reserve is just to boost the company's it's like a safety net, if you like. If at any point we need to use it for buybacks or anything like that, we've got it available there on the same vesting schedule as the ecosystem, just to act as a reserve for the company. In terms of buy and sell tax, we aren't implementing any buy and sell tax. This is because the company is going to be generating profits from real world assets. We don't feel the need to be taking money from people for transacting for our token. As we are a functioning company, we're getting revenue from other streams, so that you'll be able to use the token freely in any way that you see fit.
Sweet, awesome. That sounds fair. I think, yeah, if you guys are generating profits and stuff from real world ventures, then yeah, it makes sense not to have any buy and sell tax. I'm happy with that personally. But yeah, all right, cool. Well, I guess TP, if you wanted to touch maybe a little bit quickly on any further marketing stuff that you guys are doing that you might not have touched on beforehand, please do so. Otherwise, we can move to some questions from the audience if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, it's difficult to fit in all that we are doing within the 45 minutes because we are a very ambitious project. We've got a lot in the pipework for pre-launch, but also post-launch. We plan to go global. We plan to implement other utilities at later dates as well. But in terms of some of the marketing that we've got lined up, like I touched on, we've got 2 centralized launch pads who we are listing on after the private sale. And also we have been in talks with DAOmaker. They asked for 2 things for us to continue discussing listing with them. That is change the tokenomics, which we've done, and also grow the community, which we are currently doing with the large marketing push that we're currently having. As some of you know, made DAOmaker is one of the biggest in the game. So to get them on board would be massive for us. So we're going to discuss listing with them again after this month, once we've done our marketing push. In terms of some further marketing in our DAO platform, we've teamed up with Chainlink. Chainlink have the 3rd largest community within the industry. We are utilizing their automation solution, their technology within our DAO platform, so that you know that the rewards are getting released at the same time every month, because it's automated by smart contracts. Because we've had this partnership with them and we're partnering up with them, we've agreed to co-market to their community. So once we go to mainnet a month before launch with our DAO platform, we can then start co-marketing alongside Chainlink and start getting it out to their community. We're also planning to do a lot of marketing with whatever exchange that we do decide to list on. We've got a token allocation available for this that we will be distributing out for their marketing, either on, like I say, Gate.io, OKX, or Huobi. They're all tier one exchanges, so the marketing that goes with it, we're going to have massive exposure through them. We are, like Liam said earlier, we are currently marketing through YouTubers. We're marketing through AMA. We're doing an AMA tour. That's why we're here currently. We're doing a lot of PR releases as well. And we've also got a bounty hunt on currently. We've got some bounty managers who are sort of taking control of that. And it's more of a, I suppose that's sort of underlying shilling, while we've also got this larger campaign going on in the forefront as well.
Nice, good to hear. All right, well, yeah, thanks for running us through that, TP. I appreciate it. Everybody else, let's get some questions from the audience for the Bricken team here. I think it'd be good to get some community feedback on it. So please raise your hand, and we'll try and get as many questions as we can in the next, 15 minutes or so. Last Compatriot, you can start us off. How you doing, mate?
I'm fine. Good to hear you again. Hi there, guys. Something that related to this property things that a lot of people, including, I just did my research, Morgan Stanley, a lot of people from US firms, Europe firms, Frankfurt, even Liverpool are saying that property prices are going to drop, which means indirectly people will be starting buying those that are actually renting, right? That is the cycle that goes on. People buy and go, and then these renting spaces will become property at some point. So any other plans you have for of course, the property you are buying now, prices of it will go low as the property crash is coming or is foretold. But when this happens, the renting idea you have, most people will be inclined to buy because of the dips. Hence, the renting idea will be subsided at that point. What are the plans to manage everything in that period, for that period of years, if that can be said so?
Yeah, look, great question. And although you're right in a lot of what you're saying with, the property prices starting to come down in regards to them being a buyer's market due to what's going on in the UK, interest rates now sitting about 5.5%, more than 75% of mortgage applications and mortgage products have come off of the market. Unless you're a cash buyer or got a serious amount of deposit, you're not buying. Properties are decreasing. What we're finding at the moment is a lot of landlords are actually selling their own portfolios and their own profits off just due to mortgage rates going up and the cost of living going up. So it's great for us because we're purchasing 30% below market value anyway. So when the properties do come down, yes, the asset will decrease for maybe a year or two. But like anything, property always does very, very well, and it will bounce back, and it will bounce back stronger, meaning that our profits overall will increase, but also your rewards monthly will increase because, again, buy, refurbish, refinance, every 6 to 8 months, we're increasing the portfolio. So there's always a benefit for us, and there's always going to be a massive rental need in the UK because there's just a massive shortage of properties.
Just to come in on that there, Liam made a really valid point there about interest rates and landlords at the moment. So effectively, one of the most popular business models in the UK for many, many years, because the interest rates have been so low, was to buy properties, take on a mortgage, and take it on an interest-only basis, where the landlord will just be paying the interest, renting out the property, and then taking the difference as a profit. Because the interest rates have increased so dramatically now, all of the people who are in those situations are now in a very difficult position, because now they haven't got the revenue to cover the interest rates and keep the profits the same that they were. So it's not viable for them. So what we're seeing is those landlords actually selling into the market. But because they're selling into the market, what that's doing is that's putting more renters out of homes. So it's really a hugely oversubscribed rental market in the UK at the moment. I've got relationships with a whole host of estate agents across the Northwest, and there are people who will just rent properties without even going to look at them, because if they don't just make their mind up on seeing the pictures online or seeing some photos of the property, that they'll lose it. So that's how oversubscribed the rental market is at the moment. So like I was mentioning before, the timing wise, this project really gives us the best chance of success.
Great. Just a quick reply from you guys. We are running short on time as well. If this property drop continues for, like, let's say 18 months or maybe a couple of years, will you plan to transition from being a rental space to being just a property broker? As in, the properties you're buying will sort of have lesser value, so it won't generate profit. Neither will people be very get into rentals because they will be buying in. So once the market is up, will you be moving from the rental space to being a broker space?
No. So in the short term, no. Property prices have never ever dropped more than 22% in the UK over a 5-year period. We are probably looking, I reckon, 5 to 10% drop. I can't see it being more than that. Definitely not in the next 2 or 3 years anyway. The economy is starting to pick back up. It's not as bad as what a lot of people first thought, although we're still estimating 2 to 5% decreases in property prices in the UK. But essentially that doesn't really affect us, because we'll purchase a property, we'll rent it out, we're looking at a 10% minimum yield. If we're going for the HMOs, which is house of multiple occupancy, where you're essentially renting out every single room, some of those yields can go up to 30%. So you're never going to be, although the property may devalue 2 to 5% over the next 2 years, you're still making 10 to 30% as a rental yield, because of the power that we have within the industry and some of the mortgage brokers that we work with. We can buy, refurbish, remortgage, pull out exactly the same amount of money and go and buy another property and another property and another property. And so it goes on. We've got various models in rental. We've got the buying and flipping as well. We've also got rent to rent and rent to service accommodation, which I've spoken about. There's also things like leaseholding. So I've not even spoken about leaseholding because it can get quite complicated. But essentially, it costs £1 to set this contract up, and it's where we agree a price. We complete, but we delay exchange. We exchange but delay completion. What that can then allow us to do is, say there's a property, I've done this previously with another investor. So we purchased a property on the leasehold for 800k. We then spent 15-20k getting a 10 apartment planning approved for it, and then went and flipped it for 1.2, making 400k in about 4 months. You can do that 3 or 4 times a year quite easily. It's cost you, £15,000, and you're walking away with best part of 375k. So there's always different avenues of increasing our revenue, and that's obviously what we're going to be focusing on as property experts.
And thank you, Shauna, for the time. Thank you so much.
Cheers, mate. All right, Tolga, do you want to go up next?
Hi, Shano. Hi, guys.
Hey, buddy.
Nice to see the Breaking project again on another event for me. The UK market is important in almost all aspects to inspire other countries, other regions to make decisions. I see on your roadmap that you will apply Federation and British Property Federation and National Property Buyers. I think this is important, decision or step for the project to go further. But I wonder, as project seems to focus on mostly in UK market, and many people are not in the UK, and also EU regulations, over, let's say. I mean, how far the tokenized market does UK have in real estate? For example, in other projects like Britain, you expect to apply this federation to make important changes in the critical parameters, let's say. That's my question.
I've got to be honest, I'm not quite sure what your question was, but if it's about, are we going to diversify from the UK markets, then yeah, we'll definitely look at, you know, diversifying. We want to get a foothold in the UK market because once again, that's where our expertise lie and where all our property sources, you know, lie at present. However, we do have a lot of relationships in Europe, Spain, Germany, over in Dubai, and even over in Australia as well. So we will be utilising from the ecosystem funds to expand our property portfolio, not just, you know, overseas, but also in the UK as well. You know, bigger developments, commercial to residential, anything that we deem to allow us our kind of profit margins, which we're looking for, which is a minimum 30%.
Actually, what I meant was, you know, not overseas or, you know, other countries. Actually, you know, when we see something, you know, important change in UK markets, the other regions, you know, get inspiration because, you know, the important country in the world in many aspects. That my question was, you know, about your application, applying, you know, federation and buyers. Is there any other platforms in the UK market that, you know, for example, you apply association and you love to see other platforms also apply there to change, you know, decision making in the market. What I mean, are there any other platforms in the market, or how far you know, you see the you know, real estate tokenized in UK actually?
Well, this is just it. This is the beautiful thing with what we're doing. We're not tokenizing, you know, a single property. Tokenization come with lots of legal tape. A lot of, you know, tokens are then classed as a security token. If you're paying someone for basically not doing anything, which is why it's structured as a DAO. So to get your reward, you've got to vote within the DAO system, so it kind of, you know, gets around that legal tape. I'm still not 100% sure on your question in regards to governance. You know, you guys that hold the gold mine NFTs, you'll be structuring the proposals. Individuals that hold the token will be able to vote on, you know, basically where the company goes, what properties we buy, what, you know, strategy we adopt. We'll put forward the strategies. You guys obviously vote for them. Whether it's going to be a HMO, a single let, you know, buying or flipping, it's entirely down to you guys.
Actually, my point is, you know, we will apply the Federation and National Property Buyers Group, right? Are there any other platforms in the market, in the UK market?
Sorry, Tolga, are you talking about competition? Are there any other platforms in the UK market that are doing similar to ourselves?
Yeah, but I am not actually asking about the competitiveness. You know, I actually, you know, the other platforms.
You want to understand the market.
Like,
you want to understand if the market's there, if other people are doing it. Right. Okay. So many people have tried to tokenize real estate in different ways, but where we've, from the research that we've done, where they've gone wrong, and Lee made that point there, is they've tried to fractionalize single properties and then make them a security, which, like Lee said, it comes with different legal issues, and it's quite clunky. And for us, we wanted to bring something that was going to give you a revenue from the whole portfolio. So in terms of market in the UK property market has been one of the strongest places to invest, one of the safest places to invest since real estate began. So the security of starting it here in the UK is massive for investors like yourselves, and the profits that we're offering back to investors from staking your token in the vault is unparalleled. In terms of competition, there's literally nobody out there doing what we're doing at the moment. There's other companies that are fractionalizing certain properties, but there are no companies that are in the UK that we're aware of that are offering a DAO in terms of the investment structure, the project structure, and then tokenizing the whole portfolio, so providing you a return from the whole portfolio. I don't know if that answers your question.
You know, partially, but you know, not less. You know, mostly yes. Thank you very much, and good luck again. Thanks, Shano. Bye.
Cheers, Tolga. All right, we'll get a couple more questions. Maddie, you can go next. How you doing, mate?
How's it, Shona? Long time no yet.
Long time.
Yeah. How's the Bricken team? So my question is, obviously the yields you guys will be getting will be a lot from the rental properties and whatnot. My question was just about the procedures of like non-payment by tenants. Like if after a month or two they just haven't paid their rents and whatnot, what's the procedure from then on? Thanks.
Yeah, great question. Really, really easy answer. The likelihood of that happening is very, very, very slim. The management company that I've worked with, and even down to people like Paul Preston who kind of mentor us, they've got more than 500 rooms and never had too much issues with tenants. So you get more issues with tenants in single lets than you do with HMOs, but it all comes down to the referencing. You want to make we're only going to be letting to professionals, and people obviously have full-time jobs, employment, etc., etc. Things can change, but essentially we will only be renting to professionals that pass every part of our referencing. The HMOs, we tend to do Zoom calls to meet individuals, meet them at the properties, etc., etc. You don't really have too much issues, providing that you do the correct referencing with individuals not paying.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the response. Cheers, Shona. Cheers, Bricken team.
No worries, buddy.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
Vivian,
Shauna, I've got another call. I'm going to have to jump off, but thank you for your time.
No dramas, mate. Is the rest of the team okay for a couple more questions?
Yeah, far away.
Sweet. All right, Vivian, did you want to go up next?
Thank you, Siano, for this great opportunity. My question is in regards to the real estate investment. In the website, it is written that our contribution is run by the professionals. Now, we want to know what happens to the contributions and that of the community if the investment made by the professional in charge of the real estate investment goes sideways. Because from what I was taught in school, it's either you gain or you lose in every business. If there's a lot of losses incurred, will the contribution be sent back to the contributors, or do you have a plan B to recover from such loss?
Great question. And again, quite easy answer. So the contributions that you guys are making to, whether it's our platform or Pinksale, they're going to be used to purchase properties. Like I mentioned previously, even in 2008, and even before that, the previous property crash, there's never been more than 28 odd percent in drop. We're only really looking between 2 and 5% over the next few years. So if you look at the portfolio as a whole, 30%. 20 to 30% below market value, plus a yield of between 10 and 20%. If you go overall, there's not going to be massive losses. And if there is one particular property that is making a loss or isn't pulling its weight, then we're completely transparent. You'll be able to go onto the systems, have a look at the property, see what's coming in, see what's going out. And if that property isn't pulling its weight and you have a gold mine NFT, then you can make a proposal on the DAO for the DAO community to vote to either, completely sell that property and then distribute those funds to token holders, or you can even sell the property to purchase another property, or even change the strategy from a single let to maybe a HMO. So we've been in this market for a very, very long time. Mark's developed more than 500 million pounds worth of property in the UK, predominantly in Liverpool, and each of our team members have lots of experience in this field. So we're not expecting to have massive losses, but if we do incur certain losses, then there are contingency plans to change business models to ensure that we recoup what we have lost and obviously bounce back stronger.
All right, thank you. That was clear. Thank you. Thank you, Siano.
Cheers, Viv. All right, Emmy,
Vivian.
we'll get you up for the last question. Hey, Emmy, you there?
Yeah, while going through the website, I saw you said early purchasers would be airdropped exclusive NFTs. So I'd like to know how this would go. Would these NFTs be in series, or equal value of NFTs would be airdropped to every single person that purchased early? Because the idea of airdrop that sometimes everyone, it might not be equal value of NFTs that would be airdropped to everyone. So I'd like to know how this will go, and how early would one be to know if you will be airdropped, or later on, you check your wallet and see the NFT, or I'd like
Yeah,
to get more
yeah.
explanation on this.
Yeah, easy answer. I mean, it is explained in the white paper for individuals after this that want to download and have a read. But the easy answer is there's going to be 2,000 goldmine NFTs, which are going to be priced when we release them at a minimum 2,000, which grant you full governance of the project. They also allow you to make proposals, and 50% of what the management company make on managing our entire portfolio will then be split and given to those individuals who hold the NFT. So that they're obviously going to be reward bearing and grant you some income. There are 250 goldmine NFTs that we will be granting to the first 250 investors that invest over $1,000. They will then be airdropped into your account on our staking vault platform for you, obviously, to start receiving your rewards. I hope that makes sense.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Sean, for the opportunity.
Good stuff, Amy. All right, everybody. That concludes the questions from the audience today. I guess for anybody else who's missed out on asking questions, I do recommend that you head over to the Bricken Telegram, and then feel free to chat to the team there and ask any of the questions that you may have missed out on. But otherwise, Bricken team, I just wanted to say a big thanks for coming out to Pinksale and hosting this AMA with us. It was really good to get to hear about the project and also to meet you guys. I appreciate it. But before we conclude, if you'd like to say some final words to the folks here, then we can wrap it up.
Yeah, look, thanks for obviously having us. I hope you guys found the information informative and rewarding. And like Alt said, head over to our Telegram channel. Feel free to ask us anything you want in there, and obviously head over to the website or to obviously Pinksale to invest. First 250 investors over $1,000 receive a free goldmine NFT. So that's obviously going to net you income, and it's valued at over $2,000. But thanks for having us, and hopefully we look forward to seeing you in the community soon.
Easy. Thanks, guys. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye bye.